Cheruiyot, go on, please.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. This makes for a very interesting afternoon. Never has a motion been amended and unamended so many times before it is even discussed than we are doing with this particular motion.
Yeah, other members, please console in low tones. We are moving, we are progressing well.
Okay.
The only thing I want to beg members is, I don't expect Senator Lelekwe to close the House at midnight. Please let's use our discretion to spend less than the 20 minutes that you have been given. And if you can move faster, then maybe...
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'll try and be brief in follow-up to your guidance. Madam Speaker, like the rest of my colleagues who have shared, first of all, in their concerns with the communication from the Speaker earlier on this morning, if you're in the House at that particular time, Madam Speaker, you will recall that a number of us were fairly agitated and wanted to make a contribution immediately after the Speaker had communicated with us, because we felt that something was amiss, that there was something not so right about Speaker of our House. He should attend as many meetings as possible in State House. But when we receive communication from the Speaker of a meeting which this House did not sanction, or even had it sanctioned, cannot be bound by the decisions made in such meetings, and it is brought as a communication before a motion of this magnitude is discussed in this House, then as a House, we are bound to be worried, Madam Speaker. And therefore, the colleagues that have spoken of that particular matter, in my honest opinion, are rightfully within their place to speak and send a strong message from the floor of this House that the calendar of a parliament, Madam Speaker, is not something that can be amended and discussed in any other meeting anywhere else in this republic, Madam Speaker. And therefore, the right and the proper thing to have been done is to bring a motion such as the one that has been brought by leadership. Then we have a discussion as a House, as is happening this afternoon. Therefore, Madam Speaker, I too register my disappointment, and I hope our Speaker takes note and realizes that that is not something that should be treated casually, Madam Speaker. Secondly, Madam Speaker, I'd wish to come on to the contents of what we are discussing. Kenyans are looking up to us, and I'm sure many of them are watching what is ongoing on the floor of this House this afternoon, and they are looking up to us because they want direction. So many things have gone wrong in the country, and it will be unfortunate if the people they have bestowed the responsibility to ensure that at least they speak up for them and ensure that government, the executive, get things right, log out on them and run away, chicken out of the problem, and hide, as is being proposed before us, Madam Speaker, this afternoon. Madam Speaker, it will be so unfortunate if as a House we do not speak and speak so coherently about the many questions that Kenyans continue to ask in furtherance to that address by the President. If you watch the news, and I don't know how many of us are keen to listen to the things Kenyans said, immediately after the President gave that address last week on Friday, Kenyans were asking so many things, very basic questions, which any leader that cares for the people that sent them to this House should have been concerned about. People are asking even very basic questions to the point of you have just closed institutions of learning. And within the same communication, you are giving people up to 3 to 4 hours to be within restricted zones of the country. How are people supposed to move? That is what is happening in our country. And if we do not put our foot down as the House that is supposed to oversight the executive, things are going to go even far worse. Madam Speaker, people have spoken and have shared their concerns that indeed, if Nairobi and the other 4 counties that have been declared to be disease zones are areas where people shouldn't move in or out of. So what is the plan? Closing down Nairobi and its environs will not take the virus away. And Kenyans don't have any other avenue to ask these government questions about the plans they have apart from this House, Madam Speaker. Therefore, we must think critically, even as we make this decision. There must be an intricate balance. I hear those colleagues of ours who are saying, let us remember that we have lost colleagues in this pandemic. It's true. But there are risks for any job. Just like doctors, I believe, would have wished to be with their families like the rest of us. But given that this war is being fought in hospitals and with medicine and not with bullets and guns, they are on the front line. If you read our constitution, Madam Speaker, Article 1 of our constitution, the first institution that Kenyans delegate power to, even before anybody else, is Parliament. We speak on behalf of the millions. The people of Cheruiyot that are confused and are wondering, there are only 6,000 doses of vaccines that have been sent to Cheruiyot, a county that has 1 million people. They are looking up to me. Where will I give them answers? And I've been locked in this city. I've been told not to dare to move away. Therefore, we must balance, Madam Speaker, and think critically. The challenge of leadership is rising up to the occasion in moments of difficulties, as this House is being called, at particular moments like this, Madam Speaker. You read the supplementary budget that the National Assembly passed, I think last week or the week before. 8 billion shillings is being pumped down. This thing that is called Nairobi Expressway. Who is this that is in such a hurry that even in times of pandemic, when we should be saving every coin to import vaccines, we are buying steel and cement? Who is in charge of this country, Madam Speaker? I'd wish to meet that person. I want to see them. Because honestly, the things that are being done do not make sense to me as a leader. I am concerned. Madam Speaker, I beg for your attention because the things that I'm...
There is a point of order from Senator Faria Ali.
Madam Speaker, is my colleague Senator Aaron Cheruiyot in order to ask who is in charge of this country when we know that His Excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was elected by the people of Kenya, and he's there as the president of this country and he's in charge. Is that in order, Madam Speaker?
Senator Cheruiyot, can you finish, please? You have finished your time is almost
Are you
up.
sure it's because of the time or the things I'm saying, Madam Speaker?
It's because of the time.
Anyway, I'll try and be brief, Madam Speaker.
Yeah, because
Whatever I say, Madam Speaker, is not out of disrespect or bad faith. It's just what anybody who means well for this country will ask. That surely, at a time when we are struggling and we are being told that, we read in the newspapers 2 weeks ago that Kenya was trying to secure a loan to buy vaccines. Yet if you take a study of the supplementary budget, you can see that this government is continuing to invest in capital projects that we do not need at this particular time, instead of buying vaccines for its citizens. Anybody should be concerned. Senator Faria, my colleague, should also be concerned on behalf of the citizens that she represents in this House. And therefore, my point is simple, Madam Speaker. Can we be given a plan? I heard Senator Pogisio, leader of majority, remind us that in any case, it is only 2 sittings that we are sacrificing. Because in any case, in 2 weeks' time, we're supposed to proceed on recess. Okay, that sounds fairly convincing. But then it would have made more sense had he suggested then that at the earlier on scheduled time of recess, then we can offload back those 2 weeks, and instead of coming back on the 11th of May, perhaps come back 2 weeks earlier so that we compensate for the time that is ongoing. But I am more persuaded, Madam Speaker, by the arguments that are being made by our colleagues that just having a motion in the state that has been presented before us this afternoon does not suffice to pass the threshold of what leaders of a country should do in times of a pandemic. In other countries, people are asking the right questions. We are pushing governments to make proper planning for their people, even in this city. And I'd be keen to listen to what Senator of Nairobi, Senator Sakaja, will say. And the senators that come from the rest of the 4 counties that have been locked down here. What are the plans for people who've been denied source of livelihoods, like Senator Moses Wetangula so ably captured it? What is this hurry with the NMS planting cabro everywhere? Instead of putting a stop and saying, how do we ensure that at least we feed the people in the informal settlements who, by closure of bars and all these people who draw out the living from hotels and all these places that we have denied operations, to ensure that we give them some form of cushion and comfort as a leader, as leaders of this country, Madam Speaker. Therefore, I know you have consulted, Madam Speaker, and I could understand the agony of Senator for Narok, Madam Speaker, because on one hand, he's being assured that an amendment will come. On the other hand, he's being told stick to the arguments that have been, to the motion that had been presented before the House at this particular time. And every time I see you keep on calling Senator Chilo Ayako, and I don't know who else has an amendment, perhaps it is better before we declare our stand whether we are going to support this motion or oppose it, that they be granted an opportunity, Madam Speaker, so that in the fullness of time, they have the benefit of having listened to all of us and the things that we are proposing. Therefore, Madam Speaker, at this...
Point of order from Senator Sakaja.
Information.
Point of information, would you like to be informed?
Madam Speaker, just two things. One, in as much as I agree with a lot that my brother Senator Aaron Cheruiyot is saying, and he's mentioned he'd want to hear my comments, the example he's used is not accurate. The expressway of Nairobi, which is going to serve a big part of the transport corridor, not a shilling from the taxpayer is being used. It's a PPP project. So the 60 billion is being sourced by the contractor, and probably that's why they're hurrying, because they want to finish and start levying tolls. So your point, you might have a point, but not that example of the expressway. It is a PPP project, and the Kenyan taxpayers' money are not being used on that. But Madam Speaker, the reason I stood is because, as you saw, Madam Speaker, because there's a list, my mic was switched on from the table. And when they switched it off, I'm sure I've fallen down on the list. May I be returned to where I was? Because I have those points to make, Madam Speaker.
Okay. Please wind up, Senator Cheruiyot.
Correcting what Senator Sakaja has said, I'll share with him a copy of a supplementary budget. I have taken time to read what I'm saying. That figure of 8 billion is not a figure that I have just arrived on. If he speaks to his colleagues who are in the budget committee, they'll tell him that various ministries have actually been allocated resources towards that particular project. 2 billion shillings to the Ministry of Water to move water utilities along that corridor, some amount to Ministry of Energy.
I wish you can concentrate
So,
on what...
no, I was just correcting something that he said, and I thought, okay, I'll conclude, Madam Speaker.
Yeah.
Therefore, I said I will delay my decision on whether to support or oppose, depending on a better proposal that will be given to us, because this one that has been proposed by leadership cannot fly, in my honest opinion. Therefore, I'll have to wait for a better proposal from Senator George Achilo Ayako. Otherwise, in the absence of that, Madam Speaker, I'll be forced to oppose this.
You know how to debate, Senator, and you know there is nothing like delayed decision. When we are debating senators, you either oppose or support. When the amendment comes, you decide whether you want to support the amendment or not. Honorable Senators, now that I have received the notice of amendment in an approved format, I would like to invite Senator Ochilo Ayako to come forward and move his amendment.